don't deceive a shadows lie in the mix. White socks. We don't chase clout, we chase truth. Now let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing on this Wednesday morning? I see you, moms. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody else who got up early with me this morning. I'm not even gonna. Hey, cat daddy. Anyway, I initially only had 6 people to talk about. And then I watched Yazz this morning, and I'm going to have to talk about her again. Because when I tell you that this girl scares me, she terrifies me. Yes, Kevin, Cat Daddy's wife did this for me. TikTok president. I absolutely adore her for this. Hey, Miss Coffee. Yes, let everybody know that we were here. Share the live. Like the live. If you're a member of the team, hit the daily heart me. If not, stick around if you like what you see. Join the team. Gifts are appreciated but not expected. I would do this regardless. You have to give me nothing. All I ask is that when I change a photo, that you tap the screen until you feel the heart's tail. And once you have completed that, you can take a break and do it some more if you feel up to it. There's 2 goals. One is to make sure we don't get taken down, because we know these people have a problem with the truth and the mirror. And secondarily is so we end up on the For You feed, or the FYP as some people refer to it, so that we can introduce new people to the concepts we're trying to raise, and so that they don't get taken advantage of. Now, the scammers are allowed to do, and when I say scammers, I mean those on the spectrum of scamming. They are allowed to do and say whatever they would like on their platform. But if that's the case, then I'm allowed to do and say what I want on mine. The goal is to make sure that people are aware that they're being lied to and manipulated into giving up their money because they think they're really helping a cause, and all they are doing is creating a monster. But we'll go through some of those red flags this morning so that people can be made aware. Yes, welcome in, welcome in. So, who is on the grid this morning? I don't know why I do that every single time. So, Queen Peaches is on here. She's going to be very brief, but I just want to prove a point. We got Cake on here because Tim and Angela, because as much as Tim claims to hate TikTok so much, they're now on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, which I find to be completely hilarious. But we'll talk about their Monday live just a little bit. Then we have Sharifa, or Aunti Rifa, and some of the manipulating she was doing yesterday. Then Aaron wants to be left alone, but what somebody needs to tell Aaron is, when you come for me, I'm going to respond. And we're going to do a line-by-line analysis of his post about me. Now, I know he has spies in here. Make sure you screen record it and run and tell them. But if you don't feel like screen recording it, it'll be up on my YouTube channel by this evening, and he can watch everything I say himself. I have no reason to hide. Grand Rising. And then we're going to talk about Medina and how she tried to manipulate people, got caught. And I just want to tell y'all, her getting caught is more than just hiding the reality. It's manipulation. But we'll go through it. And then, like I said, I just need to talk about Yazz in this morning, and why I think it's so dangerous. So, where do I want to start? I guess I'm just going to start with Queen Peaches. Oh, and there will be some open mic today. Because I don't think, I always say that, but I don't think I can talk for 3 hours this morning. Based on who I want to talk about. Cat Daddy, she is playing a very dangerous game. But let's talk Queen Peaches for a moment. So we all know she goes by Butterfly or Moneybee 7. That's her account. And we all know that she consistently shows her empty refrigerator or a empty refrigerator and begs for money. And she will often use her children's hunger. And I believe she has 2 children, a daughter and a son. The daughter is the oldest, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe she has a 7-year-old son. And the reason why I want to say that he's 7 is because that means that both of her children are in school. Now, I can understand if she came on Saturday and Sunday and said, my kids didn't have anything to eat today. That's possible. I don't believe her, but that would be possible. How is it that on the days your children go to school, they're hungry? And not just that they're hungry, but that they haven't eaten in days. See, she relies on the fact that people don't see her every day, or that they didn't hear when she told everybody that she signed them up for free lunch, like right after spring break. Correct. Who said that? Correct, Asia. And so let me show you. And I forgot, hopefully I can thank the person. That's funny. I'm going to show y'all a picture later. But I want y'all to see this. Miss Me With That BS? She posted this photo on February the 6th, 2026 at 9:15 a.m. 9:15 a.m. I took this picture yesterday at 5:45 p.m. What are we doing? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Correct, Dickums. Her children get breakfast and lunch. Now, again, do they need dinner? 110%. But stop lying about them not eating at all. Good morning, Disturbed One, Granny Annie, Miss Coffee. But why the same picture? Because by now, at least it should change, right? I'll show the grid again in a few minutes because I know a lot of people. Oh no, Asia, we've been clocking her for a minute. And this is the other thing. Remember a few weeks back when she was begging for money for a hotel room, claiming that she needed to get away from her abusive baby daddy? Do y'all not remember that was around the same time that the storm was coming? And I was like, was she trying to get a hotel room because of the storm? That would have been a better story than the man. By the way, she's pregnant. By said man, who she claims doesn't do anything for her family. He steals from her, etc., etc. Why are we on baby number 3 still making bad decisions? Huh? You know what it's like to be a single mother. So why are we doing it again for the 3rd time? But because she thinks people don't remember, she told me back in November or December that her food stamps came on the 15th. And she was just trying to get to the food stamps. Well, lo and behold, on the 15th, she was still begging for food. What's today? The 18th? She got her food stamps a couple of days ago, which is why she can't show her current refrigerator, because it should be full of food. And on top of that, being pregnant means she would qualify for WIC. Thank you, thank you. She would oh, thank you, Cat Daddy. She would qualify for WIC, so now she has the access to even more nutrition. But when anybody mentions a job, she'll say, I know I need a job. But truthfully speaking, how many employers are hiring a very pregnant woman? And how are you paying for housing? And she has a car, so even if there's no car payment, how are you paying your insurance? Getting oil changes. See, I believe that she just wants money. Wait, what happened, Harley girl? Really? We sure she's not trolling? Thank you for the heart, Mies. Welcome in, Christy. Good to see you. Well, I should say welcome back. 2 days ago? If she is pregnant, I will not understand how she still has a single follower after that. Now I know dummies are going to continue to follow her. But she's playing in y'all's faces. And when I say y'all, I mean her followers. Because she can't afford the one she has right now. She has a very sick baby. Good morning, good morning. I will see. It'll become apparent eventually. Because she could be trolling. Let's be serious. She could definitely be trolling. But this is an example of manipulation. She knew, meaning Money Bees. I'm back on Peaches. Let me go back to her thing. She knew that most shelters are full right now, especially in a city like hers. But they're going to have to open extra shelter space because during the storms, they couldn't have anybody outside. The loss of life would be too great. So what does she do? While on live, she calls shelter after shelter, and of course there's no space. So then she calls shelters outside of her state. She lives in Georgia. And she tells the chat she wants to relocate in the middle of a storm season. And that's why she needs a hotel, because there's nowhere for her to take her kids. She got money for a hotel that night. And then went right back to showing the same refrigerator. And a guy came in and said, that's an awfully big refrigerator for a hotel room. If you really needed things for your children, you wouldn't have to lie and manipulate and lie by omission to get it. People here see children and think, I'll empty my bank account. They see animals, I'll empty my bank account. Somebody older or somebody ill, empty their bank account. So the fact that you need to lie and manipulate, have your daughter come in, because right after I was like, a hungry child is going to be like, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. Literally the next time she went live, her daughter came up and was like, Mom, I'm hungry. Can we go to a corner store and sell water? What? And then when the mother was like, we don't even have water to sell, she was like, well, can't we take milk? She's like, we could freeze the milk and then sell it. Mind you, the milk that was in the photo was clearly old. Like, what are we doing? If what you are asking for, correct, Christy, they do. But if your children, let me just tell you what she said one time. And this was talking to me. I was like, didn't your kids go to school today? Because they would have gotten breakfast and lunch. Just what she said to me. She said, I'm not sending my kids to school hungry. What? Do you hear how ass backwards that is? They provide breakfast and lunch, but you're not sending your kids to school hungry. And what you will realize when you watch them long enough, that they'll have an answer for everything, even if the answer doesn't make sense. And that's how you're able to pull red flag after red flag after red flag. And everybody knows I'm a question asker. Because if it doesn't make sense to me, you're going to have to help me make it make sense. And when you say to me, you're not sending your kids to school hungry, not only are you depriving them of breakfast and lunch, but also their education, which doesn't sit well. So she had to switch it up. And then right after spring break, it was, or I should say winter break, it was, right. I'm sorry. I have too many thoughts in my head. She will mute herself, right? So we can't hear a single thing. But when her daughter is going to come up, she unmutes herself. That is, again, ass backwards. Most people mute when their children come up to ask a question. Not her. She does it in the reverse. So when the daughter comes up and says, Mom, I'm hungry, we all get to hear it. So then she says to the daughter, I signed you up for school lunch. Did you get lunch today? And you could tell the daughter didn't know how to answer because of course she did. And then the daughter mentioned something about breakfast. And that's when she was like, I'm going to give you Tupperware. So anything you don't eat, you could bring home and I could freeze it. What? Intrigued while her kids were going to school. She was just lying. Yeah, I know about Marty Mendoza. Her kids were going to school? What? I'm going to send you home so you can bring what? The chocolate milk home? Like, come on. But what she knows is that children and hungry children is a moneymaker. Absolutely a new low. And she does it every day. And again, for anybody who might not have been in here, this is proof in the pudding that it's BS. You literally used the same picture from February the 6th last night. Oh, that should be the 17th. I'm sorry. It should be 2/17/26. I'll fix it. It should say 2/17/26. What are we doing? If you really don't have any food in your refrigerator, why aren't you taking a new snapshot every day? Every day. Correct, puppy power. She could go to a food bank. She has a car. But she gets food stamps on the 15th of every month. So why are you showing an empty refrigerator on the 17th? Well, let me tell you something about calling churches. Unless churches have a food program for the homeless or the poor or whatever the case may be, churches are done helping people who aren't parishioners. Because you end up with somebody like Kiki, who gets a church to pay for her hotel room for an entire month. She goes through the whole performative act of joining the church, becoming a member, going live, even getting baptized, her and her kids, on live. And as soon as they stop paying for her hotel room, she ain't been in that church on live since. They are sick and tired of being taken advantage of. So now you are a member of the church. You will have been a member for some time, and then they might help you. Because, yes, live. She did the whole thing live. And made an entire spectacle about it. And even so much so that the room that they rented for her were fine until they weren't paying for it anymore. And then suddenly it was unlivable. There are many of us who have been watching. There are people who have been watching years longer than I have. But when I've been watching for somebody for over a year, I don't know everything about you, but I know what you show. And you claim to be so transparent. Why aren't you protecting your kids? But you're going to let her come up and say something about and tell her that you're going to give her Tupperware so whatever she don't eat at school she can bring home. When I know you have food stamps, there are food banks in your area, and you qualify for WIC. This ain't her first rodeo. She knows exactly what to do. This is just a money grab. And that's it. So let me show everybody who is on the grid today. We just did Queen Peaches. We have Cake, Tim and Angela, Aunti Rifa, Aaron, Megan, and I want to talk about Yazz for a moment. Heather, anybody with any common sense, as Cake would say, wouldn't do that. Intrigued one? I doubt it. I think she just needs money for other things. She's not working. And she's pregnant. So she has a car payment. She has rent. She has a light bill. Oh, thank you about the J. Paul update. She was actually on at an hour that she usually isn't yesterday. Yes, Queen Peaches is pregnant. And of course she's afraid of her baby daddy. Jordan Paul, Asia. I don't have a picture of her up here right now. But she's a beggar. By the way, y'all, I got a cup of coffee today. That's why I was late. So forgive me, but we're not going. I literally was listening back. I was listening back to the video from Monday, and I literally edited out a yawn. I was like, "Oh my!" I couldn't believe. Good morning, Sherry. I couldn't believe I sounded like that. I was like, "We're not doing that again." So, Mama got a cup of coffee this moment. Janky, she is. She is. But it's going to come, there's going to come a day where it doesn't happen. Thank you, Amy Grammy. Time 3. Where do I want to go next? Let's talk Megan. So, we all know that supposedly, I changed the photo, so make sure you tap until you feel the heart's tail. And if you're new, if you tap, double tap, you'll see the heart. If you keep double tapping, you'll see what I call the tail on the end of the heart. It takes about 85 or 88 clicks. It's fast. Do it, and then I'm not asking for anything else. If you want to tap after that, I appreciate it. I don't care about the number at the end. So, if y'all recall, she left her grandmother's house because the grandmother didn't want Claudia to visit. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together initially that it was Valentine's weekend and maybe that's why she left. But if she was smart, she wouldn't have left until Friday. So she would have had enough money in the hotel room until Tuesday when she got paid. But because these people, their monster in them knows that people will fund them, they just make willy-nilly decisions and then come to TikTok when their decision doesn't work out. Good morning to everybody coming in. So she went and got a hotel room, came live, told everybody she had the hotel room until Sunday, and then immediately started asking for money for food because all she had was candy. And her job is no longer allowing them to just take food. They have to pay for it. Now, they probably get a discount, but now they have to pay for it. And I think in part because they're open 24/7. So it's not like they're going to just take a bunch of food and throw it away. But even restaurants that will now often charge their employees some nominal fee to take the food home. But anyway, she knows, I'm working now, y'all. I got it together, this, that, and the third. Okay. Valentine's night, according to her, Claudia, her girlfriend, was at a party with her family and she was all alone. She had to work Sunday from 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. Now, of course, she had to be out of the hotel at 11, right? So she's sitting at her job saying that she needs money for the hotel room for Sunday and Monday, and that she gets paid on Tuesday and she'll be straight. And she comes live several times for the money. Good morning, anybody just coming in. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. And let me be clear about this. When they stopped begging, I stopped talking about them. So for weeks, I didn't even mention Megan or Claudia for that matter. Anyway, she gets the money. And then on Tuesday evening, was it Tuesday? No, I'm sorry. It was Monday. Monday evening, she goes live. And you can immediately tell something is off. She keeps looking to her right, looking to her right. She's trying desperately not to smile. And she keeps looking to the right and then looking to the left. Then she started pausing and somebody was like, "You got company?" And she was like, "No, I don't have any company." And you could hear water dripping like somebody just got out the shower. I have watched Mara Hazel multiple times. I'm not sure which side I'm coming down on it, which is why I haven't spoken about her. But she's definitely on my watch list. I'm paying attention to Mara. Anyway, so she's like, "I need money for food. I'm hungry." Now, these people have just paid for your hotel room for 2 nights. You get in the hotel room after work on Monday, and the first thing you do is come live and say, "I need money for food." And let's be clear, she's going to want it delivered. It's going to be a DoorDash of sorts. But she is acting off. And she tells everybody, no, she doesn't have company. But her eyes are all over the place. She keeps pausing the live. She's trying not to smile. And then Claudia coughs. So now, what you going to say, it was the TV? And even Claudia was like, "Just tell him." Miss Chicago, I've already addressed Mara Hazel. You don't have to keep saying it. Charnay and Asia, I'll see. I didn't like watching them in the past. No problem. Mara's on my watch list. I'll get to a point where she may end up on the grid. But I don't like what's happening right now. So that's why I'm holding off. Charnay and Asia get on my nerves. But again, they went away for a while and now they're back. And so I have to figure out where they are in the stream of time at this point. And they used to get on my nerves. So I struggled to cover them. I don't even think I've ever covered them once. But we'll see. They're definitely beggars. For sure. Anyway, so now we know Claudia is there. So I remember the other day you said that people would have to give you enough money for Claudia to get there and get back. But when she got there, y'all would do DoorDash. So why are you on TikTok begging for money? And who paid for Claudia's gas? Were you really asking for the hotel room or were you asking for Claudia's gas? And if Claudia was able to come up with the money for the gas to get there and get back, she came there with no money to eat? This is why I say you're creating the monster, because the monster will always have a need. They will find the need. They will make up the need. They will make bad decisions to create the need. And the monster is like, do whatever we want, because all we have to do is come to TikTok, give them some sort of sob story, say to them, see, we're trying, we're working, but give me your money. The money that you went out and worked for, give it to me so I can eat. Megan did not have to be in that hotel room. But as soon as her bad decision puts her in any sort of financial bind, she's coming to y'all. Mind you, she initially said she's not worried about not having the hotel room for 2 days. She'll just hang around her job. But as soon as the day came, she asked for the money. But this is what was also interesting. She said, because they always overshare, that Claudia called her mom and told her mom she was staying another night. So that means Monday to Tuesday, but that also means she was there Sunday night to Monday, at the very least. For all I know, she could have showed up Valentine's night and been there all that time. And this is Megan. I felt so bad having to be at work while she was here all day doing nothing. That's your problem. Because you guys want to live in a fantasy world where you could spend all your time together and have all your bills paid. You have to do a whole lot of good content for that to be your life. Or you have to be full of drama. One or the other. But Claudia needs a job. Because then Claudia will understand that in order to take care of your bills, you don't get to spend all your time together. You think I won't want to spend all my time with Mister? But ends have to meet. And nobody's coming to TikTok to beg for the money. But how is it, again, that you get to make decisions that require other people to pay for it? It doesn't make sense. This whole thing about pretending like she didn't have company or Claudia wasn't there was a lie by omission. And as you know, I'm going to show it again. Correct, take your Prozac, 150%. As you are aware, on the spectrum of scamming, thank you, Natasha, omission of the truth is withholding certain details to influence someone's perception without directly lying. Well, she ended up directly lying later by saying that she wasn't there and she couldn't hold in the cough. But she didn't tell people we need food. She said I need food. And that nobody was there with her. Absolutely take your Prozac. That fits here 100% of the time. Because what I hope you guys understand is I don't just pick every single person who asks for money and say they're going to go on the grid. You got to hit a number of red flags for me. There are some people who legit need the assistance. I'm never going to cover them. But when I see somebody who feels like their every need and desire, their birthday party, their children's birthday party, Christmas, every holiday, every move they make needs to be on the backs of the people who watch and support them, you're on the grid. Especially when you're being manipulative. Because that's the easiest thing for them to do, is to manipulate people. Correct. Their dog, their pets, everything. And it is entitlement. And people will often say, what's the harm? Like, they're just asking for money. And if adults want to give them the money, what's the problem? Every time a person is able to come on here, ask for money, and get it, you have created the monster. They no longer concern themselves with getting what they need or want by working hard, saving, and then getting it. They don't actually ever receive the glory and the pride of doing it themselves. All of that is lost. And so they just beg on TikTok. And they will continue to beg until they get what they want. They've lost any sense of responsibility and accomplishment. They go from being thankful to grateful to understanding to expectation to entitlement to demanding to being rude. And then when they get to a place where they're not getting it as often or as fast as they want to, they crash out. And once they've crashed out, they can guarantee another 50, 80 people in the live, because TikTok will promote a crash out more than the truth. And then they will always find one or two or three or five people who will jump in just to be seen as the savior. There is something called savior complex. And unfortunately, a lot of these people will also use religion, their faith, to take advantage of people as well. Especially if they do it based on familiarity. So if you're a Christian, I'm a Christian, you know what Christians are supposed to do. If you're a mom and I'm a mom, you know what moms need. If you're a pet owner and I'm a pet owner, you understand that the dog or the cat needs to eat every day. And they lean on that connection to get what they want. And this isn't just her, this is all of them. Thank you, Lisa Marie. Correct. CD Slade Silver, CD Silver, back up. I'm not sure what that means. So, if Claudia and Megan want to be together, and they can't be together at either family's house, they either need to figure it out together and make it happen, or they need to stay with their families until they can do so. But it is nobody's responsibility on TikTok to give them time together. Y'all just went through this with them. And now we're back at it again. And let's not forget that they all know that it's tax season and people are getting their checks. I'm surprised some of the oldies but goodies haven't returned yet. But they will, because they know this is the perfect time. Who's next? Let's go back to the grid. Oh, thank you, Erica. Let's see. Yeah. In a world like this, yes, please, everybody tap the screen until you fill the heart's tail and then take a break. Thank you, Disturbed One. Good morning, good morning. If I missed you coming in, Erica as well. I can't remember. To all my mods, thank you for being here. You know that this gets to run smoothly because of your efforts, and I could not do it without you. So I appreciate all of you. And y'all, please appreciate my mods. Let them know that they keep this chat humming, which allows me to do what I do, that I don't have to see every single comment. So appreciate them. Anyway, let's see. Tim and Angela. So on schedule, their new Monday, Wednesday, and Friday schedule, they were live. And of course, they want the hotel room covered. Christy, I saw you in there. And that's okay, because if I'm there to see you there, then I'm there as well. But I want you to understand that when you notice someone who cannot ask for what they need without tearing down this community, they have already overstayed their welcome in the begging community. Because enough exposure has happened that it is taking them longer and finding more difficulty, good morning, in getting it. So every time Tim needs money, he rails against the community. Now, again, on Monday, he decided to bring up the letters that were sent to his job. And he is right. He should be able to say, or his wife in this case, should be able to say where they work and have nobody mess with it. I am 100% against calling anybody's job, sending a letter, affecting their ability to work, because we want them to stop begging. And for anybody even remotely connected to this thing I call anti-scam, raising the consciousness, to do that, I have suspicions. Did you do it so you would have coverage of your favorite scammer, beggar, liar, manipulator? Like, why would you get him fired if the goal is for him to stop begging? So I am 100% against that. I'm also against trolling, because trolling helps them get the money even faster. Because trolling in some instances equates to bullying. Some of the things that are said and done in the comments are outrageous. And I do not stand with them in any way, shape, or form. And I hope you guys don't either. Because even though it may seem funny in the moment, if you pay close enough attention, they usually end up getting the money pretty quickly after a troll has said something atrocious. But what Tim does is, when Tim needs to ask for money, he doesn't start by asking for money. He doesn't just come on and say, guys, you know what day it is? It's Monday. You know, we're going to have to check out tomorrow. So if anybody could get... No, he starts by railing against us, because he's trying to create an enemy for the people in his chat to go against. Well, as long as they're talking about you, Tim, I'm going to send you money. Oh, people are keeping you from working? I'm going to send you money. Do you know how many months ago that letter to Harbor Freight went out? That's for A. For B, if you know that there are people prepared to troll you, yes, it is your wife's responsibility to not say out loud where you work. But what did he do in his live on Monday? Tell everybody he applied at Aldi. Why would you do that? Mind you, he's been talking about Aldi for months. So now if Aldi gets a letter, what, you gonna blame awareness? This mystical group out there? You never say who did it. It's just everybody over there. You want to say that you are different from the other people who lie, scam, beg, whatever on TikTok. But you want to put all of us in the same basket. Well, me, for one, you're not going to be able to do that to me. Because I don't go real life. Unless there is a crime or there is a risk to life and limb to a human or an animal. And even then, I only went real live once. And that's because somebody was committing a crime. And I just made a report. So don't include me in what they had going on. Because that wasn't me. But what you need to do is to lump us all together so then people feel sorry for you for the things that happened months ago. This wasn't last week or 2 weeks. This was months ago. And right, self-sabotage, 110%. Why do we know you've applied at Aldi? Mind you, they're in a little town, so it's not like there aren't other people in their town that are on TikTok. There's a lot of people that are in their town that are on TikTok. But see, he doesn't want to work. He wants to keep getting his lifestyle cared for. So he tells us, knowing that there'll be some troll that is dumb enough to either write a letter, call, make a threat, something, so that he gets fired. And then he can come back to TikTok and say, see, awareness did it. Mind you, he's never shown the letters as far as I've seen. Now, I'm not going to say they're not true. I'm not going to say the letters aren't true. And I really hope the police find out who it is, arrest them, and charge them. Because they have no place amongst us. I hope we find out so we can make an example of them as to what not to do. But Tim, you have every excuse for why y'all can't do something. Notice how his hip is hurting and he can't even lay on one side. You can't sit here and say to me, oh, my wife can't work, she needs disability, after she just finished working at McDonald's. Sorry, puzzle piece. Okay. You can't tell me that. So the both of you, for months, not days, not weeks, for months, have been literally laying in that hotel room, Correct, bless your snark. Correct. She claims that she would still be working at McDonald's if people hadn't lost them that job. There's not a Burger King. There's not a Wendy's. There's not a Chick-fil-A. There's not a gas station. And I know jobs are hard to come by. And he claims that when he's not here, he's on live, right? I mean, that he's searching for jobs, right? Isn't that what he said? But has he ever mentioned an interview, a phone interview, a follow-up? No. It was months ago. Duncan's hiring. Why can't she work at Duncan? She loves Duncan. But the thing is, you claim that you're spending all this time looking for jobs. There's only so many jobs in your city that are going to be available. You haven't once said anything about a job other than the one where you help them out when they need you, which he has said again. He told everybody it was landscaping. But then you tell everybody you applied at Aldi, but you want privacy. I personally think they were waiting for Aldi, because he's been talking about his wife working at Aldi since they started the building. Oh, wait a minute. Oops. Sometimes having these nails on aren't beautiful, Viola. 110%. They have been living with family members. The family members passed on, and they moved into the house like it belonged to them. And they literally had to be evicted by family members. Literally had to be evicted. I believe it. Yeah, of course it wasn't their fault. I believe it when I see it. It's real easy to say you're leaving TikTok when you just got your hotel room paid for another week. We'll see what happens next week. And let's be clear, leaving TikTok doesn't mean that they're leaving social media. Let's make that clear. But those who have left TikTok have often had to come back because they can't get money like they can get it on TikTok. So, right, Pink Panther. And Epic is weird to me. Like, I don't like Epic. But whatever. And you made a goodbye video after saying Angela was going to come back and do her makeup. Now, I'm going to say this. You don't want to be treated as a joke. You don't want people to talk bad about you. But then your wife comes on TikTok with this crazy looking makeup on. And then, of course, anybody says anything about it and we're bullying her. Bless your snark, maybe. Could be. But let me say this. They can beg for a $300 hotel bill. They can even beg for their cell phone bills and medication and gas, food, you name it. But they could never ask for money to get the car fixed so that they could actually work? Huh? Thank you, Christy. You could do everything else, But get the, oh, here comes your co-host. But get the car fixed. Because with the car fixed, they could go to another area. To get the car fixed, they could do DoorDash or Spark or any number of things. Never once got the car fixed. Oh, she's talking about Tammy Faye Baker. It was wild. I will say that. Please stay over there, mister. Please stay over there. Yep. So, and let's be clear. For the illnesses that they have, and they have serious illnesses, the idea that they don't have Medicaid is laughable. Now, I'm not going to say that they didn't have to pay a portion, like a copay or something, or they had a small deductible. But who's paying for all of the medication every month? Because they never seem to ask for it. Nelly, they do. But they get around, they go to the gym. So they could work. They've worked. This isn't my assessment as a clinician because I'm not one. But I'm just looking at the behavior you have done. And I say, well, if you do all of this, if you've worked, if you said you wanted to work, then you can work. Right, Crystal, but that doesn't make sense. Yep, patterns. They did the same thing last year. Well, again, we'll be watching. And if they leave, they leave. But if they don't, guess who's going to consistently be on the grid? Tim and Angela. And let me just remind y'all, he says awareness, awareness, awareness. His real problem is Reddit. Because on Reddit, they don't have rules and regulations. Reddit is the wild, wild west of social media. They'll say anything, post anything, and there's nothing you can do about it. So why don't you go attack that? Because you always want to tell people that we're lying, that we're the ones who are manipulating, we're the ones doing this, that, and the third. Well, why didn't you try to get the car fixed? Simple question. You beg for everything else. Why didn't you get the car fixed? You haven't mentioned a hotel bill. Who paid for that? Who gives you your... Which one of them has diabetes? Because I know they're not making... Wait, of course I'm making millions. I'm making millions. And then I'm spending millions on all of the apps and everything that I have to buy premiums for to keep doing what I'm doing. In one door and right out the other. I don't get away with just getting up here and being able to talk and randomly talk about the weather and the news. And then I bring up politics and then tell everybody else they can't talk about politics when I get nailed into a corner. And then I say, well, my rent is this, my mortgage is that, I have 3 cars, and White Sox is the king of the house. So y'all need to get him premium food that's handmade by Rachel Ray herself, but not her brand. Come on. Correct, Joanne. That's the point I'm making. They can ask for everything else but getting the car fixed so that they could go to a bigger town. Then he talked about how they don't want to leave family. All of a sudden now they're getting along with family. I wonder why. Because I'd be damned if my sister would let me be homeless. None of my family would help me out until I got on my feet. Again, when you have family and she has a brother where she can stay, but he can't. Now, how come he didn't let her stay in the house? He stayed in the car and they could have saved up money. Because sometimes you got to do what you don't like to do. But isn't it easier to stay in a hotel room that other people pay for? For well over a year? But family members didn't put up a dime. Anyway, next. So some of you aren't familiar with Rifa, some of you are. Rifa is scammer, beggar, liar, manipulator. Heavy on the manipulator. And she is someone who asks people for money, not only for herself and her needs, but for her boyfriend's needs, who she refers to as her husband, who is locked up and will be there for another 2 years. Not only does she ask for people to pay for their phone calls, she also asks people to put money on his books because he needs to eat from the canteen because of his diet restrictions. And otherwise he wouldn't eat and therefore he would get sick. She likes to sell the story that neither of them have family support. Has he ever shown his books? For all we know, he could have 7 different women sending him money. His entire family could be sending him money every week. We would never know. But if you have never watched Love After Lockup, watch 1 or 2 seasons. Watch it, because 1 season isn't enough. You need to watch a few seasons to see how stuff actually goes down. How many times did we see someone who was locked up who had multiple women believing they were the only one? How many times? And of course, the show, remember the dude that had the black girl who was a virgin and the white girl who was his baby mama, and they both thought they were the only one? And he messed with them both. He even got the baby mama pregnant again. He took the black girl's virginity. Chihuahua, let me say this. First of all, I appreciate your kindness that you put somebody else's needs above your own momentarily. But this is what I want everybody to know. Here, if you don't hear anything else, please hear this. They will never stop asking. They never have a limit. They will always find a reason to need more. So that you have to set a limit, because otherwise you will wake up one day with no money. And let's be clear, the moment you have not the moment you no longer have money to send to them, you are no longer valuable. You are no longer important. They may pretend like that for a minute, and then whoever is actually giving the money is the person that's going to get the attention. Period. So I'm not knocking anybody who has felt pulled and led into helping somebody because they truly thought they were helping. Just understand that the ask will never end. Because this isn't about helping them get from point A to point B, because point B doesn't exist for them. Because there will always be a reason why they can't touch point B. And they need your money to get there. Correct, beautiful Viola. And they all thought they were the one, that they were the most important one. Yes, they will always move the needle. They will always move the goalpost. And think about it. Her man has another 2 years in prison. Y'all gonna pay for 2 years of phone calls? 2 years of his canteen? For all you know, he's using it to trade for other things in prison. Y'all don't know anything about what goes on when he's no longer on the phone. And one thing they learn locked up is how to hustle. How to hustle people, women, family members, even guards. What about the major drug dealer that was locked up in Brooklyn that got 2 COs pregnant? Not only did they lose their jobs and go to jail, he's on unaliving row. So you gonna be taking care of them babies by yourself. He manipulated them. Oh, I'm sorry, Astar. I'm so sorry. But when people take... So I want you to see what Astar said. Can somebody pin that? Because when they say there's no harm in asking, there's no harm in people giving, look at that comment. I wanted to take a picture. So Rifa comes on and says that she doesn't need anything. Well, she needs a little, like $5 or $10, so that they can talk. But then I don't want anything. I just want to say, hey, just sincerely hurt me. But the CA is posted in the middle of the screen, and she wants you to make sure you didn't see it. That you didn't miss it. And then she immediately says, oh, we need 75 roses. Then she says, I'm not asking for much, but a CA is needed today. But if you can't, she understands. Anything will help. Speak like an adult. Thank you. Anything. You don't have an accent. You're just acting performative. She does these stupid songs about people's names. You know, there's a company where you can get them to write a name for you. You see it every Valentine's. You can hear somebody actually with a good singing voice and excellent lyrics to make a song and say your name over and over again. Why do you get excited that she says harmony, me. For what? Like, are y'all really feel special? You feel so special that you give it to her? Then she says she has no other option but to ask on here. That if you have it to give to her, do it. Because then you'll receive blessings. Now, my thing is this. There isn't somebody in your neighborhood that could use it? There's no homeless people in your neighborhood who are actually on the street with no food? Because if she can do all of the things that she does, why can't she work? Even part-time. Then, mind you, I think she didn't get more than 11 or 12 people in there. She literally started calling people out by name and asking them if they had anything to send to her CA so she could talk to Unc. Then she says, I didn't come on here for anything. I just came on. Then Kay is the woman who sent her boyfriend money for his canteen. And then this is what was so funny. By the time she sent it, the canteen was closed, so he didn't get to eat anyway. But miraculously, he wasn't sick. Big Keen, I've never heard of them. What's Big Keen's app? I've never heard of them. Or did you mean Big Zim? I don't, just put it in the comments. Good morning to everybody that's just come in. So she says to Kay, I'm not going to ask you for nothing for a couple of days because you really helped Unc out. For a couple of days? And then she has the nerve to say that we do all of this for clout and that we'll be blocked. Because we're just watching her in her predicament. What predicament? If you're not going to bless her, then bless somebody else in your life. And if you don't, you're the failure. Just because I'm not blessing you doesn't mean that I'm not blessing anyone. Big King says he's a millionaire. Just like Damika said. Anybody seen Damika's $1 million home? Right. Bless a DV shelter or an animal sanctuary or homeless veterans. There are children who are hungry. Mind you, she claims that she has no familial support, but she living in a house with her sister and her mama, rent free. That's no support? Star, I don't care what they did to you out here. You are welcome here. And you won't be treated that way here. Yeah, I know Yazz is live. What she did this morning was disgusting. So she claims that her blessings are because she blesses others with her words. Or they message her and she messages them back. So of course she got the money and she immediately left after saying that she's glad that she got it because Unc is going to be upset. Sharita comes on last night. She came on multiple times because, of course, once she gets $10, she puts five on one phone, five on the other, and then he can call her, and then she goes live. Mind you, he has his own page on TikTok. And at one point she said, I know some of y'all only come here to support Unc and not me. Y'all could talk to him on his page. What, does he go live on his page? So then why does he need you? And why don't you join his live as a co-host, and then people wouldn't have to pay you? Right? But see, she doesn't want the money just for the phone calls for y'all. She wants it for her private phone calls with him. So she comes live. Mind you, she's not just live on TikTok. She goes live on YouTube as well. But her YouTube is slowing down just like her TikTok. And she's like, I wanted to share dinner with y'all. And then she said it was something like Alfredo soup. It wasn't supposed to be, but because it was so watery, that's what it turned into. But she was thankful, of course. Then she does this weird prayer, which I didn't even recognize it as a prayer at first, because you know when someone starts praying and my discernment is like, I leave. Dead smack. Soon as I tell somebody's praying and I don't feel that they pray to the same God I do, I'm out. But she starts praying about her wanting anyone on TikTok to support her or to speak to her. Now, she often talks about support. I need support. I need support. She's talking about money. She doesn't mean, lift me up verbally or pray for me. No, she literally means money. Period. That's the only support she is looking for. She's even so much dying to become a content creator, because she said that's the season she's in, that she's taking a 30-day content creation boot camp. Who paid for that? Who paid for you to go to a 30-day content creation boot camp for TikTok? Because now she wants to do this. That this is their careers right now. His career is being locked up. Like, come on. But you have so much content you can create, but get a job? No. Absolutely not. But after she says those things, there was no amen. There was no in Jesus' name. And so then your prayer was performative. It was just to add a little Christ to the mix. Because without an amen, what are you doing? For those who pray. Without an amen, what are you doing? She comes back on at 11:20 p.m. to talk about how their lives were so difficult because apparently her sister told her no about something but gave her the runaround. The way you ask on TikTok repeatedly, I can only imagine how you act with your family. And how you need them to do everything for you. And they probably give you the runaround because telling you no is probably just as much of a pain as telling you, I'll let you know. But She doesn't do anything wrong. She's there for everybody. She does everything everybody else needs. And she's just the mistreated one. I find that highly unlikely. Because if you are in her stream and you're not saying anything or giving her the daily heart me or clicking, why are you there? How about this is the first time I'm ever seeing you? Why am I obligated to do those things before I choose to support you? You wonder why you're not getting new people? Because of the way you treat the people who show up. The way you ignore everybody else but the few select who have given you money recently. She also seems to believe that as soon as Aunt comes home, her life is flipping over and she wants you to know she is only going to bless the people who blessed her. That's not what God says. That's not what the Bible instructs. That you only give to the people who gave to you. You're supposed to give to the people in need. Notice how it flips when it's going to be her money. When it's your money, give to her because she's in need. But when she gets money, forget the people in need. I'm just going to pay back the people who gave to me. How does that work? And this is how you know when you talk about having discernment about a person who's using the Bible to manipulate people, you don't even follow the book you claim to be following. You're not even making sense. But she pulls up that little burgundy half a Bible. I opened up my Bible today. I opened up my Bible today. Well, if you are actually reading it, you're not discerning it. It's not reaching your heart. And I need you to do some reevaluating. Because all of this word salad that you do, all of this uplifting of other people in the name of them giving you money, just do that then. Just offer words of encouragement and allow people to support you, whether it be gifts or CA, naturally. Then that's content creation. But begging for every little thing, asking people to put money on your man's books who's locked up, having that be the majority of your content, it's never going to last forever. And she often talks about waiting on God. There are times where God says, be still. But he doesn't mean be still with regards to him. He doesn't mean that you stop trying. Right, oops. That's not what that means. You have to give God something to bless. You have to be active in your walk. It's a walk. It's not a standstill. So again, I realize that you use little buzzwords, keywords out the Bible that fit the narrative you are trying to paint. Don't let me see you doing it. Because the fact that you called yourself praying and you didn't say amen is automatic discernment for me. What are we doing? And why are you praying on TikTok? It's performative. So miss me with it. And I really wish the people in her chat would be more discerning. Would you send money to your sister's boyfriend locked up? Probably not, because you'd probably be telling her, leave him alone, he's no good for you. That's excellent, Granny. I do a little Bible reading in the morning, and then I do some serious studying several times a week. To this day. So you can miss me with the phony religious content. I can tell the difference. So as long as you're still on here doing this performative BS, acting like you're so holy and that you're giving so much back to people by singing their name a couple of times, talk about this ladies' night and blah, 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 but the new girls aren't here, so this is just going to be with my old girls and this, that, and the third. It's so ridiculous. Act like an adult. Michigan mama, real life always takes precedence here. And you're grown. You do not have to apologize for going in and out. Please, you are absolutely fine. I just appreciate you being here at all. So don't worry. I don't act like that. I know some people do, not me. I wish somebody would be mad that I strolled in and out. My mods go in and out sometimes. It is okay. Thank you for sharing the live. When I tell you that this one is pissing me off, and it's pissing me off because she thinks that yelling makes her right. Thank you guys. She thinks yelling makes her right. Or muting and blocking people make her right. It doesn't. And I don't understand why, especially somebody like Lala, who's her mod, or people who are in there every single day, can sit there live after live after live and not discern the deception. Now, I know there are people who are willfully ignorant, people who can see it and then pretend like it's not there. Good morning, good morning. But I can't do it. Yes, I've changed the photo. Please tap, tap, tap. Because we know her people love to come in here and have stuff to say. But this is what I'm going to say. If you're a supporter of hers, just listen. Just listen. And then tell me where I'm wrong and she's right. I'll open the box for that. But you got to listen first. Thank you, AP Baby. Correct, Lumpy. That's what I say all the time. So I'm not even going to go in order. This is going to be so choppy, you got to pay attention. So I believe that I have figured out where she's staying. Because again, they're so busy with their face in the camera, they don't realize that they doxed themselves. But whatever, I'm not going to share where it is. But what I will say is that place is paid on a weekly or monthly basis. I know somebody said that on the live on Monday, and with my research, that is the truth. You pay weekly or monthly. It doesn't have a daily fee. Because, wait, let me read it to you. Hold on. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm going to have to go back to Rifa in a second. But I got to finish her first. Hold on. I wrote it down. So this is what it says. It says that it's a place that has flexible weekly rates and 4-week special offerings. A cost-effective and convenient option for guests in need of long-term lodging. So it's a place meant for people who are going to be there for a long time. Flexible weekly rates and 4-week specials. So this idea that she needs $65 a day is a lie. Now, I've been calling the way she does it a lie because every single time it's time for her to pay, she ends the live. Why? That's A. B, last night she was asking for the money, but then said that she doesn't have to pay it until 11 in the morning. So if at 11 you don't pay, you have to get out. Remember the other day, she claimed she was outside for 2 days and she didn't come on and ask for the money until a quarter to 11 at night. Why would she wait until 11 o'clock at night to get her room paid for? And why would she say that being outside in the cold without her things, because she claimed she could leave her things in there, would she say that those were the best 2 nights of her life because she wasn't on social media? You mean to tell me she wouldn't come on long enough to get the money for the room? I think she had the room for a few days. She was sick of social media and she just took a break. It had nothing to do with her being outside. And let's not forget that a live before that, she claimed she only had her phone to go live. But last night, she was on her tablet live because she complained that since the man broke it, it kept falling over. But again, when you ask her a direct question and she knows that it's going to make her look bad, she gets loud, she blocks you, she asks you if you're crazy or if you're okay. Then she's like, it's common sense. She doesn't know what common sense is. She blocks everybody. And then gets mad that people come back on a new page. Stop blocking people. And they'd come on their regular page. Everybody is stupid. And don't tell her you have expertise in something because you have to be lying. What's so crazy, she'll be like, what doctor is on TikTok? Thousands of them. What nurses is on TikTok? Thousands of them. Cops are on here. Lawyers are on here. Politicians are on here. What do you mean? She's savage because she doesn't want to get caught lying. But let's go over one lie in particular. This is what I call my raising the consciousness moments. I looked up some services in her area. Now let me give 2 caveats. A, most places are full. It's the wintertime. And they have limited space. And I didn't pull up every single resource. But I just want to make the point. This is the Hospitality Hub. And they tend to work with other organizations. But if you go to them with all of your needs, they have help with everything, including free showers. They provide free showers. They provide laundry services. They have medical assistance. They have mental health assistance. You name it. But I want you to see where it says all services are free. She lies and tells people that it costs money to go to a shelter. What? Now, I admit, the shelters are dangerous and a lot of them are full. I'm not saying they're not. But stop lying and saying shelters cost money. What would be the point of a shelter costing money for homeless people? Let's do another one. This is from Room in Memphis. And this is just one of their resources, the Congregational Shelter. And what it is that during certain parts of the year, churches will open up their buildings for the homeless. What does it say? Room in the inn is always free. There are no vouchers. Space is limited and all spaces are filled by 5 p.m. No, always free. Here's another one. Merge Memphis exists simply to assist underserved women to live in dignity, safety, and peaceful surroundings, alongside other like-minded women working towards a better life of self-sufficiency and self-worth. What did the executive director say? We try to take things like clothing, food, and shelter out of their daily worries. Merge Memphis is also free. Veronica. What's this one? Oh, I'll get to that one in a second. So let's take that lie off the table. And see, the problem is when you lie about something that is common sense, as she likes to say, what else are you lying about, Cake? Why are you waiting until 11 o'clock at night to ask for money that you need at 11 in the morning? I know there are. One of the reasons why she likes to stay there is because they leave her alone. She's basically allowed to do whatever she wants. You know, in shelters, they have rules and regulations. Shelters, you have to go and come back in at a certain time. Here, she has the freedom to basically do what she wants. Which she's grown. She's allowed to do whatever she wants. But if you are grown and you're allowed to do whatever you want on your platform, guess what that affords me? Because I'm grown. I'm older than you. That means I can do and say whatever I want on my platform. But let's be clear. We know why she goes outside. For two reasons. A, because if people see her outside, they think she doesn't have her room and they will send money. And B, because she gets more people in her life when she's outside than when she's inside. Because when people see her inside, they're like, okay, she already has her room. Mind you, she already had her room at that point. Because if she didn't, where was she from 11 in the morning until 10, 11 o'clock at night? Just roaming around on the scooter? She claims that the only time she gets a lot of people is when there's drama. You are the drama, man. People, Jamaica, good morning. Am I your wake up every day? Congratulations, Lumpy. Anyway, this is the funny thing. She has an elevated voice and tone normally. She does. Her natural tone is high. But there is a stark difference between her natural tone and when she's yelling. And she always likes to say, that's her normal voice. No, it's not. Not at all. It's not how you just talk. Why do you get angry by the slightest question? You'll put a video on your page and ask people to go to your GoFundMe to give you money. But then if someone comes back in the live and asks you about the GoFundMe, you get angry. Can anybody explain to me why that makes sense? Good morning, Awful One. Can anybody, any of her supporters, explain how that makes sense? Let's just start there. She's upset because people aren't giving her gifts. That if people were giving her gifts that she deserves, her words, not mine, that she'd be able to pay for her room every day. So she doesn't understand what the problem is. But what's crazy is that 80% of your platform is begging for something, cursing and blocking somebody for asking a simple question or telling everybody that they don't know what they're talking about. That's not content. You coming on and asking for money every single day isn't content. If she doesn't have Medicaid, how'd she get that scooter? How can she keep going to the hospital and getting care that she doesn't think is care without insurance? And this is why I don't understand how people can sit in her life day after day after day and not discern that something doesn't make sense. Of course, because she doesn't want anybody to come back and say they helped her. She's on the scooter all the time. I just proven to you that the shelters never cost money. And then at some point she brought up awareness. And she said, we don't even know the definition of the word, which cracked me up because I was like, neither do you. But I did a little research, raising the consciousness a little bit. And I came across this, what I feel like is an interesting summary. So this is raising awareness through public outreach campaigns. What is it? Awareness raising is a process that seeks to inform and educate people about a topic or issue with the intention of influencing their attitudes, behaviors, and beliefs towards the achievement of a defined purpose or goal. It can mobilize the power of public opinion in support of an issue and thereby influence the political will of decision makers. There are multiple awareness raising strategies, methods, and tools that can be used to convey and spread messages and to gather the support necessary to influence public opinion. I love that definition because for me, it makes it clear that this isn't an attack on any one person. This isn't a bullying strategy. This is about Daniel's. I'm dead. This is about educating people on the topic and issue at hand to influence their attitudes, behaviors, and beliefs towards the achievement of a defined purpose or goal. This isn't about bullying. What do I say? I say, you keep asking, and I'll keep talking. And where the people fall, they fall. Okay, Fiona. That's it. If they choose to believe you, they'll keep funding you. If they hear me and they choose to see it the way I see it, the funding will stop. Simple as that. But for someone to tell me that I don't understand what it is when I know you don't have a clue is hilarious. It's hilarious. So somebody can go run and tell her that. MAGA girl, I didn't see Kansas, but I did see the Texas Panhandle that they were literally evacuating people. I did see that last night while I was getting ready for today. She is incredibly rude and nasty. You could say hello wrong to her. How, I don't know. You say hello, how you doing? And she'll lose it. What do you mean? What do you think I feel like? I'm a homeless woman. That's just a natural, like regular start of conversation. Hey, how you doing? Most of the time, people aren't even really asking how you're doing. It's just what they say when they greet you. Yes, thank you for everybody who's come in. And there we go. And I appreciate you saying that, Harley girl, because this is the thing. You want to say that you know you don't have it, and then at the same time say you know you don't. That's not your condition. Again, how do you have it both ways? So she said that she was going to do a story time, but of course now she's waiting until she gets to 20,000 likes, 25,000 likes. And she was literally like, I should be at 50,000 likes at this point. And then she was like, somebody needs to send me a universe. And that ain't even that much money. Are you out here sending people universes? Now, I think her next step is to join an agency. Because she says she wants to battle and get like the big battlers. I know, Miss Coffee. She gonna call herself hosting church the other night. Couldn't even get herself together. You gonna do church while you're drinking Mad Dog 2020? Now, this was the funny thing, and this is what I was referring to earlier. She gonna say to her chat, I need to find a way to get new people in here. Boo-boo, the faster you get new people is the faster you're gonna block everybody. How in the world do you expect to get new people if you curse people out for asking a simple question? Somebody could have been loyal to you for a year and you ask a question she don't like. Ooh, you blocked. She wants all the free will to do and say whatever she wants. But you as an adult on your page are obligated to honor her wishes. Make it make sense. You have to be friendly to grow. And miserable, that's her favorite word for us. We're miserable. No, I'm not miserable. I actually have compassion for kind people. And I'm trying to redirect their kindness to people who are deserving. Period. There are people in their own neighborhood deserving who won't lie to you, who won't manipulate you. She showed her foot last night and was like, this is it. Now, anybody who has had surgery knows that prior to surgery and on the day of surgery, they have you sign a paper saying that you know that you may not wake up from anesthesia. Now, according to her, she said that she had a procedure and she almost didn't wake up from it. And so now she's like allergic. They don't have to use the same medication. Get a different anesthesiologist. Don't use the same one. Ask quality questions. Make sure that the anesthesiologist who has put the medicine in you is the same anesthesiologist that's going to be with you throughout the procedure. Find out how many procedures they've done, how many they have lost, what were those circumstances, what can you do? Like maybe not drink, not smoke, and not hit that pipe to make it better so you have a better outcome. Mind you, her boobs were out so far yesterday, you could see her areola. You could see the top. And this is what's crazy. I wasn't the only one to see it, but guess what? Nobody told her. You know why? Because telling her something for her own benefit could get your head chopped off. So nobody said anything. They just let it stick out there. Another thing, when she's outside on her scooter, she's literally rolling around in circles. She's right in front of the place she's staying. She's not off somewhere under a bridge in a scary place. She's right in front of the building. How do you think she get in there so fast? Even the night where she claimed that the person threw her tablet, she was right outside. She doesn't have any children. She's been a lesbian since she was 3, according to her. Now, at 11 o'clock last night, she needed $40 for her room. For that day or for the next day. But I already told you, they pay by the week or the month. So why is she asking for $65 a day? Now, she doesn't even, and this is the thing, she claims she plays it every day at 11. If it's weekly, now I can see her saying, I got to get it a little bit every day so I know I have it at the end of the week. That I understand. But you're telling people that at 11 o'clock every day you have to pay. And you're also saying that if you don't pay, you can leave your stuff there for 48 hours and they won't touch it. Let's be serious. I don't know a single hotel that does that because they're losing money. Pinky Winky, I'm not sure. I went to bed at some point too. She always says that we're pocket watching her or pocket watching her people. What does she call what she's doing? Is that not pocket watching other people's bank accounts? Very much like Jordan Paul. Is that not pocket? And then once she'll be like, I don't even care about food. I just want my room. Then as soon as she gets in the room, she must have got the money last night because she eventually went live from her room. Then now I got to figure out something to eat. Now this is the same woman who says she gets food stamps but not Medicaid. So how come you never have food? Your mama gave you an air fryer. I know you have a little itty bitty refrigerator. So how come you always need somebody to send you money for food that you need to get delivered? So at one point, she shows her leg, and somebody says, like, you're just doing that for sympathy. And she's like, no, I'm not. I don't want pity or sympathy from anybody. So then why are you showing your leg? Don't you say that picture is funny, but isn't that what she looked like every day? You don't want pity or sympathy, so why are you showing your leg? You claim that there is nothing you can do about your situation. Well, we all already know it's lymphedema rather, and she could go to the doctor and get that part of it taken care of. I don't know about her foot. Her foot could have broken and could require surgery. I don't know. But we know we can get rid of some of that swelling, right? What we also know about her live the other day is that she was offered a job making good money working remotely. She wouldn't have to leave her room at all. And she declined it. For me, that was all that was necessary. If you believed everything she said up until that point, how can you continue to fund somebody who was offered a remote job directly by the owner of the company? She didn't even have to go to school. All she had to do was learn how to do it on YouTube. She told her, I will help you any way I can. All you got to do is learn it on YouTube and you will have a job. You know what Cake did with that offer? First, she got mad. Like, y'all can't tell me what to do, blah, blah. And then she went silent. Her silence was deafening. Because how often is Cake not running her mouth in her own life? And the woman's name was Caramel something. What was crazy was that her mod, and this was in the box, her mod was asking a million questions, talking about, I need that. Can you help me do it? Where on YouTube do I need to go? Cake remained silent. So, what do you mean you don't have any other choice, any other opportunity? That you're stuck in this situation and you have no way out? That you filed for disability and you were denied and you're going to file again? When? When are you going to file again? Because, baby girl, in order to get disability, you have to show medical proof that you are actively getting care for whatever your problem is. Not getting care is going to cause you to get denied again. And instead of burying your head in the sand and living life how you want to, drinking to excess when you know you have diabetes, smoking when you know you have diabetes, hitting that pipe even occasionally, when you know that those things not only affect your diabetes but affect your leg, affect whether or not your care with a doctor would even be successful. When you have a person refusing to do the basics, why do they deserve your hard-earned money? Because this is the thing. Where do you think she's getting with your money? Huh? Is she getting medical care with your money? No. Is she seeing a specialist? No. Is she trying to quit smoking? No. She, in fact, uses your money to buy alcohol and then drinks it in front of you. And your answer to that is she's grown, she can do what she wants to do. Well, if she was grown, she wouldn't need your money to do it. How can she be grown to make all these decisions, but not be grown enough to pay for those decisions? See, you can't have it both ways. You can't play the victim but also be the victimizer. You can't play the innocent, I don't know what I'm doing, I need your help, and then say, I'm grown and in charge of everything and I don't need your opinion. Well, if you need my money, you probably need my opinion. And again, I'm going to ask it again. And the thousands of dollars she's already gotten off this app, tell me one thing that has changed in a positive way for her. What's one thing you paid for that's made a difference? I'll wait. Yep, it'll be open mic. She has a mother and a sister. They both live on their own, but they're in housing, and so she can't go live with them or they'll get kicked out. I just want to know from y'all, what is your end game? When is the amount going to be too much for you? Because the problem is that because listen, when TikTok runs out, she'll go to Epic or Bigo. Or by the time it gets a little bit warmer, she showed her signs last night. She'll be right back out on the street doing the exact same thing. So my question is, what did she gain other than what she wanted on that day? Correct, oops. Beggars never have a limit. They always claim that they know something in the future is going to flip for them, but they're not willing to do anything to have that flip effectuate. Oh, I know God got me. I know God got me. I'm not worried about it. What are you doing to give God something to bless since he's got you? Correct. She's comfortable where she is. She knows she could have a better life. But you know what? This is the life I have. I'm comfortable. And she is willing to do certain things to maintain the current lifestyle while holding out this mysterious hope that God is going to come down and suddenly she's going to be the princess of the ball. She's going to suddenly get rich. And this is the funny thing, rich or poor. In order for her to get her legs straight, she's going to have to do something. And if it requires surgery, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. They're still going to have to put you under. Unless you come to the doctor down here in Florida that does surgery while you're awake. There is a doctor here in Florida that does do that. They do full-blown surgeries while you're awake. Oh, well, with her GoFundMe, what people may or may not realize is that when she reaches the limit, she just raises it. And the way GoFundMe works is so she raised it recently from 8,000 to 9,000. I haven't looked at it recently to see where it's at. But the way it works, because she's been getting the money all along, if you give her $25, she gets about $23.50 on average in 2 days. What did Mish say? Correct, bless your snark, but don't tell her that. Don't tell her that. We can see it's lymphedema. I've shown you the grid. She has stage 4 lymphedema. And that doesn't necessarily require surgery. That's why when she goes to the hospital, they wrap her leg and give her water pills. Because it's excess lymphatic fluid. And the crazy thing is, if she just let you talk to her without her flipping out, people could actually be helpful. But she's afraid to change. She's afraid of, if I lose my moneymaker, what am I going to do next? See, if the leg isn't big and swollen, has everybody seen her entire body? Has everybody seen her? Oh, I shouldn't say that. Is there anybody that hasn't seen her entire body head to foot? Good morning, Peaches. You haven't, Simply Tea? Let me find it. That's her. Mind you, from her page. I didn't go search on Facebook. This is on her TikTok page. And her other leg is bigger now than it was then. You want to tell me that entire leg is because of a broken foot? That's a broken foot. Okay, Granny Annie, enjoy your day. It's called lymphedema. Let me show you. These are the stages of lymphedema. She's stage 4. Anybody else want to tell me that that's not what it is? See, when she only shows it to you, you only see the lower part in her foot. So you think it's just the foot. It's not. It's the entire leg. Thank you, Sapuki. Don't tell her you're a nurse, though, because you have to be lying. Because no nurse would be on TikTok. Tony, not a blood clot. It's lymphedema. That's why when she goes to the hospital, they wrap it, because keeping wraps on it all the time helps it squeeze out the lymphatic fluid. And then water pills are to remove the excess fluid. So when she comes back and says they didn't do anything, yes, they did. But you need to follow up with a specialist. Correct, Sabuki. She could also get a pump and you put it on and it squeezes and squeezes and squeezes and helps get rid of the excess fluid. She is also a diabetic. So again, why can't she just tell the truth? Because lymphedema isn't curable, but it is manageable. And if she could get rid of that excess fluid, her moneymaker is gone. Then she'd actually have to get a job. Nobody would have the same amount of empathy because they would be like, well, you can walk on your leg now. You can put a boot on. So at least you can go get a sit-down job. And yeah, you might have to take a bus for a while. But how many of us haven't had to fall and get back up? She's lying. That's my problem. She's manipulating people. And see, it's easy to say, well, I'm afraid of the anesthesia. That's why I won't get it done. And that's why it can't be fixed. And that's why I'm always going to be this way. But if it's about wrapping your leg every day or using a pump, well, now that don't sound so hard, does it? It's not easy, but you don't have to get put to sleep to do it. Compression stockings as well, which Medicaid will pay for. It's her moneymaker. It's the reason why every live she shows her foot. She don't show the whole leg though. Correction, they blessed. There's a lot she could do about it. And she's choosing not to. And then when she did go to the doctor at the beginning of the year and she didn't get what she wanted done, she immediately comes back and be like, they didn't do anything. Well, she gave you a referral to a orthopedic surgeon according to you, but you know what she told everybody? But he's not gonna do it for free, and I don't know if I'm gonna have the money to go see him. If the people in her chat love her so much, they wouldn't give her the money to go to the doctor. They gave you the money to go see your PCP. Not only the money for the PCP, but to Uber there and back. If they thought that your leg could get better, somebody wouldn't make sure you got there and got back. But she wouldn't allow anybody to take her because she has Medicaid. So, Cake, be mad. Be big mad. I don't care. Because you're lying, you're manipulating, you're being outside at night so people think you don't have anywhere to stay. All of that, all the lying about shelters costing money and you needing to pay at 11 o'clock at night, but they'll leave your stuff in there for 48 hours. They'll leave it there and they don't know when you're coming back. All of it is deception. And then you add the lymphedema on top of it. You're angry because you're trying to intimidate everybody from telling the truth to you or about you. I'm not intimidated. No, she didn't have any kids. She's been a lesbian since she was 3. She doesn't have any children. Miss B, I'm not saying that she's not homeless. I agree she's homeless. But it is the manipulation she uses to get the money that I have a problem with. She lies and says she needs $65 a day. Where she lives is weekly payment. Some of these comments got filters. Thank you, Sherry. I did the same thing. She may, in fact, she is homeless. But where she's staying is weekly payment or monthly payment, not daily. She has lymphedema. She could get that worked on. She won't. She gets food stamps and Medicaid. Why does she need y'all to give her food every day delivered? She's drinking Mad Dog 2020 while she has diabetes and smokes cigarettes and hits the C-rack pipe every now and again. And let me correct that. She said that we feel like everybody who's homeless is on drugs. We never said that. I never said that about her until I watched her smoke it on live myself. I don't assume that about anybody. Do you know how long it took me to even suggest that Jordan Paul might be doing an extracurricular activity? I do not just say that about everybody, because it's not true. Good morning, MLA. How are you? I hope you're having a great day today. So come on. And this is the problem. She would never have a conversation with me. A C-rack pipe. I've shown it 1,000,000 times on here. She got in the car with somebody, put the phone down, but didn't pause it. So we could see the reflection of what was happening in the front window. And you know, there's a difference between weed and a C-rack pipe. And how with a C-rack pipe, you have to keep lighting it over and over again every time you take a draw. That's what was happening. And this is the crazy part. When somebody was like, is she smoking C-rack? The people in her boxes were like, no, she not. No, she not. And they were like, yes, she is. Like, we could see it. And then they were like, if she is, that's her business. She's an adult. What? But this is what's funny. Guess what's funny about those 2 people who had her back then? They're no longer friends. I wonder why. I wonder why they're no longer friends. They literally were like, and if she is, and then this cake, I don't even know what it looks like. Girl, stop it. I have never touched it, been near it, smelled it, nothing. I know what it looks like, though. I done watched enough TV to know what it looks like. What you mean you ain't never seen it before? You don't even know what it looks like. But see, she is so ready to like bark and come back at you that she says stuff that when you think about it, it doesn't even make sense. And everybody was like, that's right, Cake, don't do that. Were your eyes closed? Correct, Crystal. And you live in a hotel with 304s and everything else, but you ain't never seen it. You be on the street, but you ain't never. Girl, come on. Come on. God. How do I do it? All right, time to move on. Right, they do. And my problem is this with all of them. Please stop being willfully ignorant. Take your emotional connection out of it for a minute and just watch and listen. And ask yourself, what is this? Am I throwing this $65 down the drain? Because tomorrow is going to be 65. The next day is going to be 65. The next day it's never going to end. She's not trying to reach a goal. She is literally living day to day on your kindness. That is unsustainable. Especially with how angry she is. It's unsustainable. And to drink Mad Dog 2020 on top of it, which is the most garbage liquor, on top of all of that sugar? Okay. I need to go back to Rifa for a second. I'm sorry. This was on the back page. So when she came live again last evening, she said that first of all, she has to stop people pleasing, because she often will say that she came live because somebody DM'd her or somebody told her they wanted her to come back, but then they don't even show up. So she needs to stop people pleasing. Okay, whatever. Then she says that she was watching Cardi B live on Instagram. And Cardi is on tour right now. So she looked up the concert tickets. And the fact that even between the concert tickets and people sending her gifts on social media, she said, this is literally what Rifa said, comparing herself to Cardi B. She said, why shouldn't she get the same support? Girl, what? Even when Cardi was quote unquote a nobody, she was more entertaining on her pinky finger than you are. Are you kidding me? You think you should be getting the same support as Cardi B? Delusional. Then she says, I'm not asking for anything specifically, lie number 3025, but she is resenting doing content and going live. What? She asked somebody else, do you resent going live? Listen, I know that this might seem easy, sound easy. Everybody feels like they can do what I do and they can do it better. All I say is do it. Have a schedule. Come live on that schedule. Keep people's attention. Get people to stay with you for hours while you talk. And do it for a year. And then come talk to me about how easy it was. Going live and having something concrete to say to keep people interested and engaged is hard. I would never say I resent it. It's just hard. But anything worthwhile can be hard. You got to work at it. But to resent it, especially when people are giving you money for your needs, for your wants, so that you can talk to your man and you resent it? would be offended. Like, what you mean you resented? I thought you said you loved me. And because of that love, I've been sending you money. And I literally, people were in there like, when I get my tax return, I'm going to send you something. And you're going to turn around and tell people you resent going live? Well, how about this? Don't go live then. Don't do any content. If doing it makes you feel resentful, which certainly isn't Christianly, stop doing it. And that's when she mentioned her 30-day content class and that she was hoping by taking the boot camp, it would get better. No, what you're going to find out is that you haven't been working hard enough. That's what you're going to find out. You're happy you got 1.5 million views. Well, and that hasn't translated into you getting gifts like Cardi B. What more must you do? Cardi B will get 1 million views on one video. But you deserve as much support as her. But this is the thing. Could you handle the scrutiny that Cardi goes through? Can you handle the questions about her looks, her ethnicity, her loyalty, who she is as a person? People call her everything from a child of God to a hoe. Could you handle that scrutiny? You can barely handle people talking about you on TikTok and your begging ways. You can't compete where you don't compare. I don't know what you think this is, Rifa, but that ain't it. You got alcohol poisoning? Now let's end with Aaron. I don't even have any notes. Because Aaron decided the other day, it must have been Monday night after my live, that as much as he wants to be left alone, he decided to leave a message for me that somehow I guess he thought because I was blocked I wouldn't be able to see or read for myself. But in case you missed it, let me share it with you. Yeah, I heard he didn't have power. Let's start with the original post. So first he starts with, "You don't have the balls." Well, my initial reaction to that is, no, I don't have balls. But then when I think about it, I'm like, you know what? My dick and balls are probably bigger than yours. Because I don't need to hide. I don't need to change my name every other day. So he says, "So you don't have the balls to bring it to me." Was I or was I not in the chat with him? Huh? The balls? Okay. And when you do, so wait. Either I do or I don't. What are we doing? But when you do, you want to argue and cut me off. When I try to answer your questions and you want to wait until I either fall asleep on live or not on social media at all to talk shit, that's bitch made. Let's go back a second. This run-on sentence doesn't make sense. So let's try to make sense of it. So I don't have the balls, but then when I do, so clearly I have balls sometimes, I want to argue and cut him off when he tries to answer my question. I gave you an opportunity, several actually. I in fact said to you that I was going to sit there and be quiet and let you answer. I wasn't going to say a word. And instead of addressing the things that I brought up, you decided to go on a tirade about how you're sick of everybody and blah, blah, blah. That wasn't answering my questions. For A. For B, we all know you have a problem with women anyway. And you definitely would have a problem with a woman like me because you don't intimidate me in any way, shape, or form. And I'm smarter than you. I know more than you. So when you use a bunch of word salad to convince the people in your audience that you know what you're talking about, I used your own posts against you. And then I showed the truth. And that's what you don't like. I don't argue with you. I wasn't arguing. But when you say that you don't need to report your gifts to Social Security Administration except till the end of the year, I was able to prove that that was a lie. That was a lie. You need to tell them in the month that it happens so that if they need to make an adjustment, they can the following month. So you're a liar. Don't be mad at me. I don't need to argue. And this is the beautiful thing. I don't even need to talk to you at all. I have my own platform and I can say whatever I want on my platform. So I proved you were a liar. Let's go on. And then you said, and you wait until I either fall asleep on live. That's interesting because I go live the same days, the same time every week. Wait for you to fall asleep. No. And it's not my fault that you fall asleep while you're on live. That's not my problem. I could care less. I go live when I go live, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 a.m. Period. Nothing that happens on TikTok alters that schedule. Only my real life will alter that schedule. So no, I'm not waiting for you to fall asleep. These are not on social media at all. Again, when I go live has nothing to do with you. I either have the information before I go live or I don't. But because I know I'm going to go live again, if I get it after I go live, I'll talk about it in the next live. I am not making going live decisions. You would love to think that that's what I do. But sweetheart, nothing about you moves or shakes me in any way, shape, or form. Not a single thing about you. You aren't even bright enough to enter my space. To turn me on, you have to turn on my brain first. And you do not have the power to do so. You don't have the capacity. And then you say I talk shit. Telling the truth isn't talking shit. I proved that you were lying. I proved that all you do is word salad and it sounds right so people ride with it. And then that's bitch made. That's bitch mode. Bitch move. But bitch made. So I have balls and I'm a bitch. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's more than you got. Now let's read the little note below. He says no words. Because of course that post wasn't enough. He says, all my true and loyal people know what's been going on and it's not right. Then he can't even get my name right. What is wrong with people? You hate me to the depths, but never get my name right. Digital creator shadow. That don't even make sense, but okay. Has been causing a lot of issues and talking a lot of shit behind my back. She is causing a lot. Did you have to repeat she is causing a lot of issues? And can you tell me, can you delineate for me what issues I've caused? I'm just over on my platform talking to the people who support me, baby. What issues have I caused? Because your true and loyal people know what's going on. So they're still funding you, right? What problems have I caused? And then he says, and yet I'm not even on live or on social media at all when she does it, unless she catches me sleeping on live. If I'm watching you live sleeping, how am I live at the same time? Huh? Again, if y'all are going to talk bad about me, please do a little research. Please spend a little time understanding what you're going to talk about before you say it. Because, again, when you can't even get basic facts straight, I'm supposed to believe the rest? And clearly, I'm not affecting your true and loyal supporters. So what's the problem? Then he says, this BS is getting out of control and getting to be very stupid. Most people don't care about what's stupid, but okay. She doesn't do it when my people are around because she gets her ass rang. Every time I read that, my ass rang? When did my ass get rung? I'm wondering. Anybody know when I got my ass rang? Because what? And then again, I don't do it when I do it when I do it. And it's the same every single week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And clearly your people were around because they snapped photos of me talking about you. So how come they weren't bold enough to come in here and defend you? Huh? But my ass got rung? Rang, not even rung. I don't do it because my ass got rung. When has anybody that supports you come into my life and said a single word? But they're here. And you know how I know they're here? Because I showed y'all the other day, because he doxed the person who was watching me for him. So please come ring my ass. It'll be a new feeling. Never felt it before. Correct, Mad Holly. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30 a.m. to around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I guess we have a show upcoming when my ass is going to get rung. I have to make sure I tell Mister to be here so he can help me out afterwards. Anyway, then this is... We got her restricted the other day. That's why she wasn't live due to harassment and bullying. My live has never, in the year and year and 4 months that I've been doing this, my live has never been taken down. Hold on, Skittles. I'm not ready. My life has never... Have I gotten restrictions? Yeah. But my life in a year and 4 months has never been taken down. Because I try to play within the rules. I know people have tried to get me taken down, but I have never. And even if I do, we'll just go over to the other one, to the other account. It's no problem. But it's never happened. And I certainly haven't not gone live because of a restriction. He says, we got her restricted the other day. That's why she wasn't live, due to the harassment and bullying and using other people's content to incite fear on their life. They get an agency because all the agency cares about is making money. I incite fear? How? You have threatened us with the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, lawyers, and courts. Correct? You have said that there are warrants for our arrests coming out. Is that not meant to incite fear, Aaron? But I prove to you that you're lying about a TikTok guideline that says you're not allowed to ask for money directly to your payment app. Just because TikTok doesn't take you down for it doesn't mean that it's not a community violation. I'm inciting fear because I proved that a gift, $21 or over, required reporting to Social Security immediately so that they could adjust your next month's check? Did that incite fear? Did I tell anybody where you were or where you were going? Did I reach out to any of your family members or your ex-girlfriend or people who support you? No. So you putting up a post saying that I'm inciting fear to try to create documentation that would make me look bad. Remember, if you send them to me, I'm going to tell them everything I know about you. And just know that when they come back to see you, you may be the one with the warrant, not me. My suggestion is that you leave me alone. Because what you don't want is my full attention. Go off and play whatever games you're going to play. Go do whatever it is you're going to do. Go lie about something else to somebody else. But that's my suggestion. Because you can't even get this right. You turn on the people who were once supporting you. You reveal information that's completely unnecessary, that exposes who you are and what you're really about every day. That's why you got off TikTok, because you couldn't even handle yourself. You think you're the smartest person in the room. I promise you, there's always someone smarter. You stop begging on social media, I go away. That's the deal. That's the only deal. And that's all I have to say on that. With that, I'm going to open the mic.
This is so exciting.
Good morning. I'll mention Yazzie in a minute. But since we just finished talking about Aaron, go ahead, Skittles.
I am thoroughly convinced that he thinks that you and I are the same person. Because I did get banned because I was streaming him. I believe that he thinks that I am you. because I was the one restreaming him. I was the one that put his FOIA out that was sent to me. So I am thoroughly convinced as of today he thinks we are the same person.
That's hilarious. Even though we were in the same live together in 2 different accounts.
Exactly.
He's the biggest and the brightest, boy.
Because I've had so many messages threatening me from his people, telling me that I need to stop, that I'm going to be arrested, that I'm going to be charged, that the FBI is watching me, the biker gang is coming. If he sends my C&D and it says Monica, I'm going to die. Just so you know. I'm going to post it and die. Because that's hilarious. But I'm thoroughly convinced that he thinks that we are the same person.
That's hilarious. That's
And I'm
happened to
not
me
going to stop.
before.
If anything, I'm going harder now.
Somebody thought I was Scam Slam.
Oh
I said I
my
was
God.
stupid because I told them to look at something and it wasn't on my page. And I was like, I didn't say that. And then we figured out they were talking about Scam Slam, not me.
I love that. I mean, I'm
just
flattered. I'm honestly flattered. I could never be as good as and nice as you. I mean, good Lord.
Stop it.
But it makes sense to me now. He thinks that I am you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hopefully he'll see this or his minions and tell him that he's an idiot. That she is not I and I am not her. She is far better than I could ever be. She has standards and morals. I don't know what those are.
You do too. Stop it.
I'm working on my public appearance. I'm becoming a better person. And I have one more thing. This touches on which we talked about in my live. Guys, if you see people in these scammers' lives and they're saying they sent money and they don't, and then they say, well, so-and-so sent me, please know that we don't send people to people's lives.
Oh,
because
yeah.
somebody was in Tim and Angela's live saying they sent money, and then people were saying that I sent them and that I was streaming, which I wasn't even streaming. I was on a panel. But
Yep.
it really defeats the purpose of what we're doing. It really does. It makes us look true.
Trolling. Right.
I mean, it negates the positive progress and all the, credentials that we put forward. But yeah, no, I cannot wait for him to come back. I'm really surprised he has not been back. But I truly cannot wait for him to come back. Because I have all receipts I need. And do you need me to send you those receipts, by the way? Did I ever send them to you?
No, you haven't. Can you email them to me?
I will send them. Shoot me your email when you get off, and I will most definitely email him.
My email is simple. It's digitaldeceivershadow@gmail.com.
I think I can remember how to spell that.
All you gotta do is look at my page.
I know, I'm kidding.
Okay, it's 2 S's, right? Well, don't put digital creator shadow because
that was one thing that threw me off too when he said that, and I'm like, but she doesn't stream you, she doesn't get banned, she just posts facts. And then I got the threats, and it's not the first time that a creator has sent their minions after me. I've been called all kinds of things. Oh, it does not bother me, just so you guys know. Call me whatever, but don't call me late for dinner. That's fine by me. I'll email those to you. You guys keep up the good fight. Somebody please go tell Aaron that Digital Deceiver and I are not the same person and that he's an idiot.
I know. Like,
I love you and I love your work. And I love your chat. And I'm so glad that I can be a part of it and be here. And remember, don't donate to people on TikTok. Donate to your local shelter, food bank, animal sanctuary. Give it to people who truly need it. And with that, I'm going to drop. Thank you for the gifts. I did not need it. I appreciate it. I love all of you. Have a good rest of your show.
Thank you.
Bye.
I love you too. You keep doing the good work.
I'm going to make sure I tag you in everything now. Bye.
Bye-bye. Yes, I want to talk Yazz for a moment. This morning, I want to say maybe 3:30, Yazz was in a house with someone who thank you, Miss Coffee, was in a house with somebody that I believe she knew, a female, but they were in a man's house. And Yazz kept saying she was afraid and that he threatened her. And we were terrified for her, right? Yeah, Dosha. But then the gentleman was as nice as he could be. He was like, "You could be in the room, I'll sleep on the floor." And she was like, "Can I go in the room and sleep?" And he was like, "Yeah." They get in the room, and then she's like, "Can I get my charger?" He's like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "You get in the bed." And she was like, "Really?" Mind you, she's typing, "I'm scared." And people are like, "Don't do it, don't do it." So scared for her. And he's like, "I'll sleep on the floor." And people were like, "Wait, he's not threatening her. He's not being mean to her." And do you know she had a nerve to go asleep? Snoring her ass off. Now, am I thankful that that gentleman wasn't what she called him out to be? Yes. But that is a dangerous game in and of itself. Because the next time she is in an actual dangerous situation, will people take her seriously? I think because people were afraid that something was going to happen to her when she went to sleep. But let me tell you something. In most situations, if you are truly afraid, your fight or flight doesn't allow you to sleep. She got in that bed, got comfortable, and she was asleep in minutes. And the man never touched her, never said a word, nothing. Right. And she won't show you where she is. She won't show you who she's around. So you can't even say, like, we got a snap of this person and this was the person she was last. Nothing. But if you're going to tell people you're afraid and you're in a dangerous situation and you're not, baby girl, do you realize you are playing with fire, that you just poured gasoline on the fire that already existed? Because the next time you say that you're afraid, there's going to be a group of people who are like, "No, she's not. She played this before." I refuse to not speak up about this because I'm afraid for her. I'm afraid for her. And I want everybody to be afraid for her and hopefully reach somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who can get this worked out. She is here in Florida. And the last thing is, I want to get news that something happened to her because she's young and dumb. And I don't mean that like she's a stupid girl. I mean, she doesn't have enough life experience to truly understand the risk she is putting herself under. She feels invincible. She feels like she's 18 now. She's smarter than everybody else. She knows how the world works. She's tough. She's independent. She could fight them off. She could figure it out. Or she can use her little baby voice and get them to calm down. It won't matter if you run across the wrong person. Correct. Trafficking is real. So please, I don't. Please, I'd love to talk to her, but she's so defiant that I don't think anybody talking to her is going to actually make a difference. And you know, my mama used to say, a hard head will make a soft ass. Her mom and her sister are her mods. For real? She has 18-year-old courage. That says I have my whole life ahead of me. Somebody didn't show her enough. Somebody didn't warn her enough. Somebody's going to give her a soft ass. And hopefully it's soft enough that it's just enough to scare her back into reality. I did too. When I turned 18, I was grown. You couldn't tell me nothing. And I swear, I thank God every day that I made it past that period. But I wasn't doing this. My mother would have rung me up. I'd have been like, you know, those slabs of meat, like the half a cow, that would have been me on a hook. And I would have missed an entire week because she would have beat me into next week. What? Yeah, AB baby, I had mine at 18. It will mature you. Well, no, I got pregnant at 18. I had him at 19. Really? Now I'm even more worried. I wish I could go get her and bring her here. The first thing I would have to do is beat her ass, though, and be like, okay, now you understand who I am. Now let's go from here. Apparently, some man was banging on Dorsha's door looking for her a little while ago. Oh, God. I feel sick to my stomach now. Good
Hello.
morning.
Good
Hello.
morning. I just wanted to say real quick what's really sad is if her mom and sister or either one is like really her mod in her lives. I mean, what would they do if she's on live and sadly she does get snatched up and taken against her will? And they're just sitting there because they were allowing her to do what she's doing because she thinks she's so grown. I mean, as a mom myself, my daughter's 31, and first off, I wouldn't let her be in that predicament, but it's scary to think that if they're sitting there watching this, or anybody that's sitting there supporting her and watching it live, because it isn't the first time people have seen this. And
I
that's what's
agree.
really scary.
I have two feelings. One is that it's just a ghetto situation, tree to the vines to the apples, or they're doing it because it's the only way they can stay in touch. It's the only way they can know she's okay is to mouth for her.
I
Because her mother
agree.
evicted her because I think her mother was trying to teach her a lesson. And but I because I don't know which one of those things it is, I can't say. But I can. but I think when the mother had her evicted, I think the mother thought that would be the shock she needed to get herself together. Because even while she was getting evicted, she was smiling and laughing and like, what am I supposed to do with my stuff? And you gonna put my stuff outside? And she was talking to live, like she wasn't even taking it seriously till she was outside the house. And now, like, it went from being bad to just being outright over the top.
I mean, I agree, like, teaching her a lesson, but she's so young. She's barely 18. She's a very beautiful girl. And unfortunately, she's definitely the type that people prey on and traffic. Like, it's like a real thing. And it's a very sad situation.
It is. You
Very
are
sad.
100% correct. You are, and see, the thing is that because she's also money driven, it's easy to get her.
And
Somebody's like,
she,
"Oh, come spend 30 minutes with me, and I'll give you $150." She's going.
I mean, it's so sad. Like, she kind of reminds me of that girl that's always playing victim and claims she has tics and all that. Like, she'll be
Okay.
like, "Oh, I'll do this if you help me get a room," and then when they get there, the person expects something and she claims she doesn't do it, and then they end up getting raped or,
Yep.
worse. I mean, it's a
Yep.
real thing.
It is.
And
It
it's
is.
too much that goes on in this country and other countries. And I would hate to come on here and see something horrible has happened to her.
Me too.
Okay, thank you. You have a great day.
Thank you for coming up. I appreciate you coming up and saying, sharing your thoughts. Because I agree, the more voices, the better.
You have a great day.
You too. Does anybody else want a box? Correct, Nicole. That's what put me over the edge. It put me over the edge when she said, "Oh, really, Crystal? Can you send me their ads? I would love to hear from them. I would love to hear from them." Nobody else wants a box? Well, okay then. I hit 9:30 even though I didn't think I would. I literally was complaining to my niece last night. I was like, maybe I shouldn't go live. I don't even have enough people to talk about. And she was like, she's like, you always say that. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel like I'm wasting their time with just 6 people. Well, everybody knows I can run my mouth. May have Life 360. Yeah, they could. They could have Life 360 on her phone. One of the best apps ever, especially if you're on Android. I love Life 360. I'm not wasting your time. Oh, thank you for saying so. I appreciate it. Well, y'all know I'm on my way to taking a nap, and then I'll start watching scammers some more. I'm sad that Robert Duvall and Jesse Jackson passed on. They both made incredible contributions to the politics and the entertainment world, and they will be missed by some, me included. So I want you guys to have a fantastic day. I want you to hug somebody. Oh, by the way, the documentary on Netflix about the America's Next Top Model, super good. 3 quick You're gonna go make Aaron 3 quick episodes, but it is very illuminating. It's also interesting who didn't show up. But I want to say this. One of the girls on there was getting read by somebody, and she asked her, has anybody hugged you lately? And she said no. And it made me think of what I tell y'all all the time. Find somebody who you think isn't getting hugged on a regular basis and just hug them. If there's a brother or a sister or a parent or an aunt or uncle who you don't normally hug, you just say, hey, maybe do a handshake, hug them. The human touch is magical. So hug somebody you love, because tomorrow isn't promised. And please, please, please do some sort of self-care. To me, today is going to be my nap, because I need it. And this song is for Aaron specifically. That's why he was going to be last. Yes, do check on your neighbor. And pay attention to the weather. So this song is for Aaron because he thinks that my ass is going to get run. So, Aaron, this is my response to my ass getting run, okay? Echo. Play I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor.
Here's I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor on Amazon Music.
All of you have a wonderful Wednesday and Thursday, and I will see you Friday morning.
Yeah, spicy digital, baby. Digital deceiver shadows live in the mix. White socks. We don't chase clout, we chase truth.